As 2020 draws nearer to the end, I wanted to make a video today looking back on the year and looking back at all of the incredible games we've seen Roblox developers make. Welcome everybody to my top 5 racing games of 2020. Now, a lot of you guys have seemed to enjoy the previous ones. I've been doing this for a few years now, especially with racing games, as this is basically the genre I spend all of my time in, and you guys really enjoy the videos. So if you guys want to see more of these types of videos, let me know in the comments. I am actually considering making a part 2 to this video that's basically going to showcase all of the runner-up games, because there are so many to cover, and just putting 5 on a list wouldn't do them any justice. Lots of great games came out this year, and to just make a list of 5 is pretty hard. I also just want to say that this top 5 list isn't to be taken too seriously, okay? This is really just my opinions on all of these games. Like I said, I play this all year round, so these types of racing games are always on my radar, and I try to keep up with all of the updates that they do. So I want to give you guys my opinions of the top 5 games this year. I have to say, this has to be the hardest year yet. So many great games got a ton of updates this year, and this is definitely a list that can be adjusted and changed. So if you guys think that this list should be changed, let me know what you would do with it in the comments down below. With that being said, everybody, sit back, relax, and let's get into these top 5 games. Now, to put this at number 5 is kind of difficult for me to do, because Ultimate Driving Westover Islands is an incredibly great game. Probably one of the biggest, most ambitious games on Roblox. I honestly don't know anybody on Roblox who hasn't heard of this game. It is really quite amazing how much they have crammed into just one game, and this year alone they have made so many incredible improvements. Let's start off with Victory Road, one of the biggest updates that they did, and one of the bigger focuses that they had on racing. Now, I don't want to put this too high up on the list, specifically because this is for racing games. I wanted to make sure that these games have a focus on racing specifically, and Ultimate Driving, being an absolutely incredible game, hasn't really taken a ton of focus on racing. They have so much to do and so much to cover that I don't really blame them for spending a lot of time on stuff like, for example, their off-road update. That was an incredible update, probably my favorite of the entire year. If you guys didn't hear about that, I did do a few videos on it, but basically they've completely expanded the accessible areas that you can go and see in Ultimate Driving, making the game feels so much bigger and so much more adventurous. And I've had a ton of fun crawling through the dunes in the trucks, climbing mountains, and seeing things that you normally wouldn't see in a Roblox game. This for sure is an absolutely incredible game, and I've played Ultimate Driving for many years, and I've seen this game grow and become such an amazing experience. Over the course of 3 or 4 years, Ultimate Driving has never once stopped making updates. And if you want a game with a completely diverse player base with tons of things to do, between something like 6+ jobs, you can get your own house, there is a ton to do in Ultimate Driving. I would have to spend an entire video just talking about this game, and like I said, it would be higher on the list, but we have so many other great racing focused games to get through. So with that, we move on to number 4. Number 4 has received a huge following from its community over this year, and I've watched this game come from just humble beginnings to an absolutely giant game like it is today. That, of course, guys, is Vehicle Legends. Realistically, Vehicle Legends is the new kid on the block, especially on this list. I have seen this game come from just when it released to being pretty much one of the biggest, most noteworthy games of 2020. I mean, it's sitting right now as we speak at almost 10,000 players. That is absolutely incredible for a game that's only 1 year old. So Vehicle Legends is clearly a game a lot of people enjoy. In Vehicle Legends, you have everything from helicopters to planes to $80 million boost trucks that are just absolutely incredibly insane, to boats, to literally everything. And to see this game get weekly updates every single week from a development team of just one person is absolutely insane. Vehicle Legends has come a very long way in such a short time, and if you guys haven't heard of the game or haven't seen it yet, I recommend playing it, as it gets updates literally every single week. Speaking of incredible updates, we're gonna move on to number 3. This is Driving Empire. You guys have heard of this game. It just recently became Driving Empire. You might know the name Wayfort. Wayfort is the previous name of this game before it received an absolutely giant update covering pretty much every aspect of of the game and improving it in some way, starting with a way bigger map. I think the main selling point of WayFort / Driving Empire has to be the detail of the cars. The cars in this game are absolutely beautiful, and with the lighting and with the way the map is designed, you do get an absolutely gorgeous experience. I do have to say though, I think it is definitely one of the harder games to run on this list, so if you don't have the most powerful computer, you might have a hard time playing it, but if you can run it properly and smoothly, you will definitely appreciate the quality. Similarly to Vehicle Legends, Driving Empire also focuses on more than just regular cars. We have boats, planes, and everything in between that has just been added in this huge update. And again, just like Vehicle Legends, it gets updates all the time and has an absolute giant amount of cars for you to explore and see. And from my experience, I think Driving Empire focuses a lot more on higher end cars. So if you prefer supercars and hypercars, Driving Empire is the game for you. Now, with number 2 and number 1, anytime I make these videos, I always have a hard time picking the first and second place. It's always such a hard choice, but I'm gonna go ahead and say for number 2 on this list, Midnight Racing Tokyo. And I've advocated for this game for an insanely long time. I think that this is one of the most underappreciated games on the platform. Sitting at just 700 players, Midnight Racing Tokyo brings another layer of detail and graphics to the Roblox platform. Like, Midnight Racing, I've advocated for this game so much, is absolutely underappreciated. It has over 130 different cars, most of which you've never seen before, because in this game there is a dedicated focus to the JDM community mostly. There is other cars like domestic and all that stuff, but there isn't a ton of it. The majority of the focus goes mostly onto JDM. I think in this year alone they added something like 3 new maps. They've added in racing events so you can do realistic races. They have body kits, which is one of the huge selling points of this game. A lot of the cars have tons of different modifications, and not just paint colors and rims. I'm talking about changing the style of your headlights, your tail lights, your rear bumper, front bumper, fenders, side skirts, all of it. There is an absolutely enormous amount of customization in this game, and as far as graphics are concerned, you won't find better graphics on a Roblox game. I'm gonna say it straight up. Midnight Racing Tokyo has the best graphics out of any game on this list, hands down. It is so beautiful, not to mention it's accurate. It also takes a lot of its buildings and inspiration from real life structures in actual Japan. So they make the game as realistic as possible, and they try to copy it and make it accurate as well. It is just mind-blowing to see how far this game has come. I remember when it first came out, it had one small little map, and it was okay. It was fine to do a little bit of driving around, but with Tokyo City and all of these other maps that they have in now, it just feels enormous, and you guys have to check this game out. It deserves so much more attention. Now, I hope you understand why I picked this at number 1. It is such a big game, and it came out late last year, so to see it become so big in such a short time is insane. We are, of course, talking about Driving Simulator. I had to put this at number 1 just for the sheer amount of quality updates we've seen on this game. It has been so consistent with its updates, and we've seen a lot happen in just 1 year. We had a Halloween event a couple of months ago, which was amazing. It was an absolute blast to partake in. I did make sure to get everything I could from that update as well. They've been including updates for specific Xbox users, not to mention just the overall style and design of this game is one of a kind. There is no other game with a similar chassis, with a similar style map, similar cars. It really has a perfect, unique experience attached to it, which is really hard when we talk about a genre like racing, where it can be very easy to copy other people and not be very unique. But Driving Simulator, not just being a completely unique game, is also an absolutely great quality game as well. In just this year alone, we've seen tons of new cars, events take place. We've also seen drifting updates, customization updates, performance modifications. The list goes on and on. If you want a game that you can depend on and rely on, and a game that you can expect to see great things from, Driving Simulator hands down has the most professional and most quality gameplay you will possibly see on Roblox. Not to mention, I've played this game on mobile before, and if you're a mobile user, like you play on your iPad or phone or whatever it is, this game, out of all of the games I've played, has been the most authentic and most comfortable, I would say, experience on Roblox. I know a lot of other racing games that you play on Roblox kind of glitch out, have bugs, don't really feel that encouraging and exciting. Driving Simulator actually feels like as if I just downloaded a game off of the App Store and started playing it. It really is that good, and not to mention the absolute quality of the racing. There's tons of different racetracks. The map is absolutely enormous. The game itself is fantastic, guys. You have to try out Driving Simulator. I'm sure you probably already have at this point because this game's huge now. On the topic of huge games, I mean, this also holds something like 100 max players on every server. So when you join a server, you could be playing with up to 100 other people. That is insane on Roblox. So that is definitely incredible. Guys, this is my top 5 list. If you would change the list in any way, let me know in the comments what you would do differently. I'd love to hear your opinions down below. And if you guys want to see a part 2 with all of the runner-ups as well, just let me know, show your support as usual, and that will encourage me to go ahead and make a part 2. Smash the like button if you like these types of videos and want to see more. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video.